Hello. For my blended learning project, I chose to do a station rotation model. I felt this model would be best for my students and where my school is at right now. We do not have a lot of technology devices at my school, so I had to choose something that would work with minimal devices. In my stations, I have two online stations, two offline stations, and one teacher station. My rallying cry that started this project was I needed to create a place for individual face-to-face time with my students. I see students for 30 minutes about 3 times a week. We are generally doing group activities, singing songs, playing music games, or something similar. I do not get to talk to students one-on-one to see where they are at and help them if they are needing help in an area. I created my stations so that I would be able to meet with each student and hear from them and help them if they were stuck or needed encouragement. The LMS I chose is Edmodo. I chose this because it was easy for me to use for myself and my students. My students are not used to using much technology at school, but most of them are familiar with social media, and I thought Edmodo was set up similar to some social media. My station rotation unit is preparing students for recorders. In 4th grade, we play recorders as kind of a summary of everything that we've learned in elementary music. Students will review rhythms that we have worked on since 1st grade. They will learn notes on the staff to read music. They'll be playing classroom instruments and evaluating music that they listen to. Once we have completed this unit, students will be ready to move on to recorders and will be able to read the music we will be playing. I wanted to use the station rotation model so my students could take ownership of their learning. They will be setting their own goals at each station and then work towards reaching those goals. One thing I love about blended learning is students being able to work at their own pace. If they need to spend extra time on a certain topic, they can, and if they're ready to move on, they can go on to something a little bit more advanced, or they'll have the ability to continue and not be stuck right where they are. On my Edmodo page, I have most of my stations set up in folders. On the home page here, I do have some of the assignments and different activities that they'll be doing, but most everything is in the folders page. So I have my music stations here, and like I said, I have two online stations. So the first online station, students are working with this Classic for Kids website, and I've made some instruction videos for students to see. Hello, in this video, how to work all of those different stations. So they'll click on the instruction video, look at what they're supposed to do, and then click on the website and go to the different games. So this is a note game that they'll be playing where they're spelling words and they have to be able to tell which line or space the note is on and then select the correct letter. So I have them do 10 of those, and then they'll move on to the next game that has another instruction video here, and this is on the same website, and this time they're doing rhythms. So they listen to a rhythm and then they have to play back the rhythm on the computer. So once they've finished both of those, if they have extra time, they can go back. There's harder sections in both of those different games, so if they felt that they really knew how to do the note names, they could go back and try the advanced. Same thing with the rhythms, they could go back and try the advanced rhythms. Or if they thought that they were really struggling with the note names, they could go back and get some extra practice with that, because reading notes on the staff is something that we haven't really done much before, but it's a very important part of being able to play the recorder. So that's one thing students need to be able to do. So if I go back, that's the first online station, playing those two games, and they have to get 10 on each of those games. The second online station that I have is evaluating a piece of music. This is a big standard in music, is evaluating music. This will also help when we're playing recorders to evaluate their own performance and what they're playing. So again, I've made another instruction video. Hello, in this video, students will go and watch that. Then they're going to go back to that Classic for Kids website, and they get to pick any music. So they'll see all of this music here, and they get to pick one of these songs and listen to it. After they have listened and picked a song, I have a Google Doc that they're going to come to, and they fill out. So these are kind of prompting questions to help them with their evaluating music and just kind of telling what they heard and what they were listening for. So like, what instruments did you notice? What tempo did you hear? Did it change or stay the same? Dynamics, Anything else that they noticed about the music? We talk a lot about what they pictured in their head while they're listening to music. And then just the last question, did you like the music or not? So those are some prompting questions to help them help them evaluate a piece of music. And that is the second online station. The other stations that I have, two offline stations. Students will be working in their groups and they will have a rhythm card that maybe looks similar to this with a rhythm. And then I'm going to let them choose a classroom instrument that I have. There's more than these, but these are two examples. And they have to play the rhythm for a partner in their group. So their partner is listening and then evaluating if they played the rhythm correctly or not. If they didn't play it correct, then their partner has to help them out and give them some advice on how to fix that or what they need to do. So that's one of the offline stations there, playing an instrument, reading rhythms. The second offline station is using boom whackers. And this one, students are using their ears and they're trying to identify a melody that is being played. So they'll have a piece of paper that looks like this, and each color is a color of boom whacker. So they'll have to work together with their whole group, and they're playing each of these kind of notes, if you would call them that, and they're trying to figure out what the song is that they're hearing. So they've got to be working together to make sure that they're playing all of the correct boom whackers and then trying to figure out what melody is being played. This one is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So they're listening, following along with that, and that's the second online station. Then the last station in my station rotation is the teacher station, and this is a station where I will get to talk with each person in the group, because like I said, I don't really have an opportunity in my class to talk to individual students. If I want to do that, it's kind of at the side, like the rest of the class is singing a song and I pull a kid over to ask them a question. And it's very short and it can be loud and not very meaningful, I guess. So that is one of my goals of this, is to be able to talk to each of my students, see where they're at, if they're struggling with anything, if they need any encouragement in a certain area, or just kind of what's happening with them and music. So that would be my last station. So by the end of this unit, students should feel confident with rhythms and notes on the staff so that we are able to read music with their recorders. I will also be able to talk to each of my students and find out if they're having any struggles or need any help with anything. And I'm hoping that this will allow my students to feel comfortable and confident in music and will be willing to take risks in the future. So that is a little bit about my station rotation model and my LMS. If you have any suggestions to make things run better or anything that could be improved, please let me know. And thank you for watching.